Hello students, last class we have finished the chapter matter in our surroundings. So that is first chapter and that comes under chemistry. We have finished the exercise and we have discussed all about that chapter. I hope you all are clear with that chapter. If you have any notes, let me know in WhatsApp. You can send me a message or in WhatsApp you can send me the doubt and I will clear that doubt. Okay, so now we'll move to the next question, next portion, that is physics portion. We are moving. So that is your chapter number 8, motion. So we'll learn about this in this class, motion. So generally you know about motion and rest. Where you come across in the different instances is if you are playing the cricket, a bowler bowls a ball and a batsman hit the ball, and after hitting the ball starts moving. But will it move continuously? No. After some time it will come to rest. Okay. Then if you are moving in a bus or if you are going in a bus, you can observe that the trees are moving backwards. If you are in a bus, from the window if you see, you feel that the trees are moving backwards. Or if a person standing outside the bus, when the bus travels in front of him, he feels that bus is moving, along with that also passengers also moving. But for the person who is in bus, what happens? For the person who is in bus, for him the trees are appear to be moving in backwards, but his co-passengers are seems to be in rest for him. So then what all are happening here? What the processes are happening here? The sun rises, the sun sets. That means happening of sunrise or happening of sunset. Okay. Are due to what? Due to the motion of earth. So then what is exactly motion and what is rest? What are these concepts, motion and rest? So I will go on telling them. Okay. See, this motion can be in a different way. It could be a straight line motion, it could be a circular motion, or it could be a vibration, or it can be a combination of all these things. For example, if you take straight line motion, what could be called as straight line motion? If you are going in a bike, that if you are going in a straight road also, then you can say that you are in a straight line motion, or we can say that for linear motion. And after that what comes? Circular motion you can observe. Where we observe circular motion? Suppose if you are watching a running race, what happens in a running race? Athlete runs in a circular orbit. So that could be a circular motion, right? Then vibrations. You can observe the vibrations. You can hear the vibrations. Okay. So that is also type of motion also. If you are keeping your mobile in the vibration mode, so you can feel the vibrations there, you can hear the vibrations there, or sound vibrations you can see. If you go to Gol Gumbaj, even though you tell it one times, it repeats that 7 times. That time you are hearing some vibrations. So that is also motion of sound particles. So these all are regarding motion. So what is exactly motion then? So we'll come to that point. So first I will describe rest and motion. Rest and motion. These are the two important points you should remember. What is rest and what is motion? And with some examples also you have to remember. Okay. See, rest is the natural state of a body. Body always wants to be in rest. Okay, if I give the example of cricket, that a ball even given a hit, it does not keep continuously moving, because after some time it will come to rest. Okay, body's natural tendency is rest, so body always wants to be in rest. So what is rest then? Okay, suppose if an object is here, say object is here, say person, you are here, you start running, after some time you will come here at B. Okay, then what you have done, you made a motion, right? Suppose a person, your friend is standing here only, let him say C, your friend C is standing here only, he will not change his position even though you go here. Okay, so then we can say that he is in rest. Then what is rest, what is motion? See here, a body is said to be in rest, a body is said to be, please go on noting down with me only, a body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position, or if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point, with respect to a reference point. If a body will not change its position with respect to a reference point, then we have to say that the body is under rest. A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ತನ್ನ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಸೇ the sea is in rest, I said sea is in rest, not she, sea is in rest. Okay, sea is in rest means it is not changing its position with respect to a reference point. This itself is a reference point. Okay, it is not changing its position with this reference point, then it is said to be in rest. Body ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಏನದು, ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ, ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್? A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. I hope you all are getting my point. So there is a bus, one bus irtade, elle bus stand ro bus irtade. Usually we call them as the last bus, last night bus or vasti bus ante kannadaga anತಾರೆ. Okay, so those bus will stay stationary from night 11 to morning till 5 or 6. Okay, in that time what is happening? It is at rest. How we know that? Suppose there is a point in bus stand. With respect to that point, the position of the body is changing? No. The distance between them is changing? No. In that time it is not changing. That means we can say that the body is under rest. So now you are watching it in mobile. If you are sitting somewhere and if you are watching it in mobile, the distance between you and mobile is not changing, then both of you are in rest. Then suppose if you take the mobile as a reference point, okay, then you are sitting in some place, you are not changing your position. That means the distance between you and mobile is not changing. That means you are under rest. Suppose if you start moving, then the distance between you and mobile starts changing, isn't it? then you start or you are in motion. So first let us understand the concept of rest. A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. So ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. That means it has to be in the same position with reference to a reference point. With respect to reference point, if body is in the same position, then we say it is in rest. Or you can easily define it as a body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to time. A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. I hope you all are clear with this. So that is my rest. So then what is the motion? Definition of motion. Same thing here. A is moved from point A to B. So then A is said to be in rest. How we can say that? Suppose a bus is in bus stand. It starts moving. After some time, so what happens? It moved to the bus stand of another village or another city. So it has traveled. It was under motion. Okay. So then what is motion? Suppose that is, if I take a X person is here. So this is a place A, let me say. A person X is here. He moved from this point, that is A point to point B. The same X person moved from point A to point B. He made a motion. That means this is my reference point. Let me say this is the distance. He has moved here. The same X person made the motion. Okay. Now the distance has changed, isn't it? The distance between A and X has changed to this much. This much is the distance now. Right? So it is changing now. When it is changing means it is in motion. So how we can say that? How we can say that? A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point. So as written above, a body is said to be in motion. A body is said to be in motion if it changes. What it does, it has to change. If it changes its position, if it changes its position with respect to a reference point, with respect to a reference point, with respect to a reference point. If a body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point. Nodi, one body irtada, body andre any object we can take. So if now yavaga motion daga anta heltivi andra, if it is changing or if it changes its position with respect to a reference point, ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ then we can say it is in motion. So how is that? So I have given you so many examples. For example, earth is in motion. How we know that? Suppose there we have to take sun as a reference point. The distance between sun and earth keeps changing. So earth is changing its position with respect to sun. So then we can say that earth is in motion. That means here body is earth, reference point is sun. So body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point. ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಬಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಯ್ತು, ತನ್ನ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೋಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, see these are the two important definition. A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. Then motion, a body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point. You can write this one first and later you write rest. So first you write motion and later you write rest. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point, whereas rest is exactly opposite of this. A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. Okay, see, when the body is in motion, there is no such need that there should be a change in distance always or change in displacement always, we can say. For example, if it is in circular motion, if a body is in circular motion, okay, this is the center, is the reference point. So here, if the body is here, the distance between body and reference point, for example, if you take 100 meter, even though body comes here, it made a motion, the distance will be still 100 meter only. Okay, on the basis of distance we cannot think that whether the body is in motion or in rest. But with the reference point, it has changed its position, isn't it? From this position to this position it has come. That means it has changed its position. So then we have to say that it is in motion. So don't consider distance or displacement in motion here. That is, there should not be any such cases, or there should no need that the distance should always change. Whether the body is in motion, if the body is in motion, there is no such need that the distance always changes. Okay, sometimes in circular motion like this, it remains constant even though body is in motion. So I hope you got my point. So then what is linear motion? What is linear motion? So motion has a types: linear motion, then circular motion, then vibration. Okay, for your syllabus only we consider linear motion, circular motion and vibrations. Okay, and after this there is uniform motion and non-uniform motion, which are the types of motion. We will come to know that later. See, linear motion. What is linear motion? Linear itself indicates that it is line. If the motion is under straight line, then we have to say it as linear motion. Very easy. If the motion is along a straight line, then we call it as linear motion. If the motion is along the circular path, then we have to tell it as circular motion. Vibrations are nothing but if the motion is under vibrations, we can say it as a vibrations. Okay, or if you say, if you take wave concept, if the motion is taking along the mean position of a wave, then we can say it as a vibrations. Vibrations, you don't worry. Linear motion and circular motion you understand, and mainly you understand this one, that is linear motion, which is there for your syllabus. What is linear motion then? If the motion is along a straight line, if the motion is along a straight line, we have to say this as a linear motion. Motion along the straight line. If the object is moving along a straight line, okay, or if the body is moving along a straight line, the body moves in a straight line or along a straight line. You can use in, it moves in a straight line. Then motion is said to be linear motion. Then motion is said to be linear motion. So give me examples of linear motion. Linear motion the examples ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. Motion along a straight line. ಒಂದಂತೂ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ? ಬೈಕ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಪಾತ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೊಂಟಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we can say that it is a linear motion. Then if you say examples, you can consider 100-meter race. Usually in 100-meter race we don't consider the circular paths. It will be a straight line. Okay, a person running in 100-meter race, that can be considered as linear motion. Okay, then where we can consider again linear motion, so you can feel the different kind of examples. You can think of different kind of examples where a body is moving straight line, in a straight line. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೀವೇನು ಸನ್ ರೇಸ್, okay, the rays coming are moving in a straight line. Okay, sun rays or light rays. So if there is earth here, this is sun, they are coming like this. They are moving in a straight line. Their motion is straight line. So there we can say that this is linear motion. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು linear motion ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. ತಿಳಿತಾ? So this what we can call is a linear motion. So let me repeat here the three things: rest motion and linear motion. Examples you should remember. What is the reason behind the sunrise and sunset? Motion of earth. Why eclipses happen? Due to motion. Due to motion of earth, motion of moon, or motion of which we can say sun, or you can say rotation. Whether it is rotation or revolution, again those are all motion only. Okay, so due to motion these all are happening. Okay, and cricket ball I have given you example, there also the application of motion is present. So even though ball is given a hit, so it moves and after some times it comes to rest. Okay, when it comes to rest means it is not changing its position with respect to a reference point, then we have to say it is in rest. When it is moving, for example, if you take a fielder or the stumps, that means wickets which are kept under the ground, if you take them as a reference point, so ball will be in stationary mode, or the distance between ball and wickets will be constant at that time. Okay, so we are considering that in linear motion we can consider that, but in circular motion we cannot consider distance. Okay, so here we can say that ball is under rest. Okay, and the ball is in motion when the ball is being hit by a batsman and it is moving actually, so that time it is in motion. So these are rest motion and linear motion. So what is rest? A body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to a reference point. So what is my motion? A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to a reference point. So I have given you lot of examples regarding this. Okay, linear motion means if a body moves in a straight line, then we have to say that body is in linear motion. If the body, okay, so if the body moves in a straight line, then motion is said to be linear motion, or then we can say that body is in linear motion. So these things you have to remember. So what are motion? So you list out where you come across different types of motion, or where you come across motion and rest, or you list out, better you list out 3 to 4 cases where you observe a linear motion. Okay, so that will be your homework definitely. So list out 3 to 4 cases where we observe linear motion also. So be perfect with this. Only 3 concepts we discussed: rest motion and linear motion. And along with that, I have discussed initially the examples of motion. You can take the example of bus, tree, passenger, cricket example, or sunrise and sunset example. So I have discussed those, okay, and I have given some example by taking the A, B, C positions, okay. So be perfect with that. I hope you all are clear with motion, rest and linear motion. So there are a lot of concepts are there, so we'll see them in the next class.